Hi, everyone. My name is Mike Dorezza. Welcome to the download. With me, as always, is my good friend Joel Lowe. Joel, say hi.
Hello. Good
Hey, so
morning.
today we're going to talk about going into work, going
Right.
back into the physical office. I know some of us are bemoaning this. Some of us don't want to go back in. Some of us are
Right.
excited.
Right.
Some of us are ready to go traveling. Right? This week. There's a bunch of conferences that starts off the conference season. I think there's been a few already, but
Right.
this is the big conference season. Like I think there are
hmm
5 or 6 of them this month that
Yeah.
I could have attended, and I just but so
It's
Joel, where do we? It all starts at home, right?
right.
Preparing yourself. Um,
So, so I think go ahead and get over the frustration of why do we have to go back? I don't want to. I'm more
yeah,
productive at home. This is stupid. Like get that out your system, right?
right,
Because no matter how frustrated you are, either you got to go back or you need to get another job, right? It just is what it is. They've made the decision. You have to unfortunately live with it, right? So
yeah,
now that we've gotten past that, right? Got that out our system, we're good. Now we have to talk about preparing yourself, right? And what I mean by that is asking the right questions, right? So this is
hmm,
not only for cybersecurity, this is physical security and safety,
yeah,
right? So where are we located, right? Where's my office space located?
yeah,
Mine moved twice during the pandemic, right? My location moved twice, right? Now there's some offices that have like floating offices, right? Floating
yeah,
desks, right?
yeah,
So you may be in a space. We're on the 17th floor. On the right hand corner, you have to just find a spot.
right,
Okay. Do I have to bring in what equipment? Right? Do I bring in my docking station? Do I bring
right,
in my monitors? Do they have that for me? Right? And what does that look like? Do I then take those back with me because I'm
right,
also doing a hybrid or working from home? Like all those are questions that you need to ask and figure
yeah,
out. Hey, I got one for you. Most good security cuts off your badge after 30 days of inactivity, right? It's been over 2 years since you've been in the building, right?
right,
So maybe I would maybe get my badge cut on, check and
yeah,
see, make sure I still have access
yeah,
to, because all these things are going to delay your productivity of coming in, right?
yeah,
So if you don't have access to the building, it's going to take a while for them to cut that on, right? You're going to have to be
yeah,
somewhere. What if you have your hands full with stuff, right? As you're standing there trying to badge in, right? It's frustrating, right?
yeah,
I have a meeting at 9 o'clock, so I'm going to leave at this certain time because I get there at 8:30,
yeah,
right? But it takes you 45 minutes to get into the building to figure out where it is to get parked. Now you're late to your meeting, right? And you're frustrated and you're not observing good security practices, which then in heighten the risk that you could take from various different things. So just
right.
be mindful, time it out, especially your first day back. Make sure you're asking the necessary questions, right? To put you in ease. Like, where do you park? Right. So never been in this building. Where do I park? Do I have to pay?
Yeah.
How
Do I
much
have
does
to
it
pay?
cost?
Yeah, and there have been a lot of companies who have sold off their office space. Right? Hey, I've been paying for this commercial office space for $2 million for the last 2 years. Not a
Right.
single human being besides the custodian, of which I pay him to clean a floor that no one's on. Why am I
Right.
paying for this? So a lot of those places are letting go of those leases or selling off their space
hmm
and condensing it down. So yeah, before you even get started, if you can get in the week before and settle in, get the space, understand where you are and everything else. If you can get your badge up and running and working now,
hmm
obviously I know some buildings are like, hey, no one comes in until June 15th. That means June 15th is your first day in. So don't book any meetings first thing in the morning. Give yourself some time and everything else. I know I've gone into offices since the pandemic. The commute has changed, and it's going to
Yes.
change. It's going to get worse
Yes.
and worse. So like when I was driving in, man, you could leave. What a 30-minute commute would take me 20 minutes or 10 minutes,
Right.
right?
Right.
And it was like, wow, this is amazing. It has gotten longer and longer since people are
Yes.
starting to go back more. Atlanta. So where my headquarters is, Atlanta, driving around Atlanta a year ago was just amazing. I was like, this is not
Right.
Atlanta. This is not the infamous Atlanta traffic you know about.
Right.
We went back recently and I was like, there it is.
It came
This
back.
is the
And
traffic. Yeah, I
it
miss
came
this
back
traffic.
stronger.
It
Right.
yeah, it did. No,
Yeah.
it really
Yeah.
did because people are not prepared to go to work at a certain time. And so they're like, I
Nope.
can get there in 15 minutes because it was a 15-minute commute. And you're like, it was also an hour commute before pandemic. So
Right.
it's no longer a 15-minute commute. It's now a 45-minute commute because all of us got on the road at the same time thinking it was a
Right.
15-minute commute. So
Right.
practice, be aware of what that looks
Right.
like. You mentioned something, be aware of your surroundings, right?
Right.
So everybody knows we're all going into the office, and what goes back to the office is all your expensive equipment.
Right.
So tell everybody what you were telling me. It was a good one.
Right. So my thing is be mindful. Get off your
Yeah.
phone. Right. I think I've seen too many times. We were talking about this in the green room. Of I'm driving and I see people crossing the street and they never look up. They're
Head
looking at
down.
their phone. So I remember when I was young, it was like look left, look right, and look left again. Right. They're literally down the whole time, and I'm like, yo, that's so unsafe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
One, be aware of what's going on because somebody could approach you. Right. It happens. It's happened to one of my loved ones where they're walking and somebody has walked up on them, right? And luckily they would be mindful and aware of their surroundings. But if you're not, by the time you realize they're too close to you, right? That's not
Right.
safe. Also,
Right.
too, tripping hazards, dangers, like you can walk into something, you can bump into somebody. Also, too, you're trying to figure out what building you are, so you need to pay attention, right?
Right. Right.
I also was talking about how I think it's kind of rude to walk into a building and not like acknowledge the people in the
Yeah.
lobby, right? Your
Yeah.
security folks, the front desk people, you're walking right by them. But I've seen many people right, be on their phone or looking at an email or talking on their phone and not acknowledge the people there, right? And I just think that's kind of it's just not my thing, right? I'm always
Yeah.
like, "Good morning, hey, how are you
No.
doing? It's good to
Yeah.
see you," right? And they're doing
Take
a
care of
job
the
for us, and I appreciate them,
Yeah,
right?
there's a saying. I think it was either my grandfather, I forget who it was, but take care of the people that watch over you, that feed you and clean up after you. Take care of those people, right?
Mhm,
Security guards, say hello. Cleaning people, say hello. Get to know
mhm,
them. People, cafeteria people who serve you
mhm.
food and everything else. Get to know them. We're
Right,
all human beings. Everybody puts their pants on or dresses the same way every morning. Just be respectful and you never know, right? When somebody needs something, you don't know what somebody's going through, you know.
right.
But
And a
yeah,
good morning goes a long way, and it hurts nothing to
yeah,
be like, "Good morning. It's good to
costs you
see you,"
nothing.
right?
Costs you
That
nothing.
that does not hurt. And my
Yeah,
thing is also with the understanding buildings and being mindful. I was telling you about how I went to my one of my buildings and somebody was on their phone, not paying attention, and the elevator has where you pick your floor
yeah.
outside. So there's no
Elevator
buttons
management.
inside the elevator, right?
Yeah,
So I push mine. They just hop on with me, right? And then as we're going up, they hold on 1 second. What? How do I get 14? And you're like, no, no, no. You had to do that down there. I'm going to 10. Oh, oh. What do
and
you
so are
mean?
you.
And I'm like, well, you should have picked it down there. Oh, I didn't see that. Well, why didn't you see that? Because you're
Right,
on your
because
phone,
you're on your phone.
right? Right? Versus paying attention to what's going on. So now you're gonna go back down, right? And then you're gonna hop off. And then you're gonna pick your floor and go back in. Oh, I have a meeting. There's no way you can get to it from here
Yeah,
at this point. You're
take
going
the
down,
stairs. You're taking the
right?
stairs.
You're taking the stairs. So again, being mindful of the building and what's going on, right?
Yeah,
Being mindful of your surroundings. Also knowing where you park, right?
right.
Reduce your frustration. That's all we're talking about right now. Is you can
Yeah,
reduce your frustration. You reduce some of the mistakes that you're gonna make or could make, right?
yeah,
And I say that because it's always catching you off guard. So if you're frustrated with, I got to go back in already. I don't know where I'm going to park. I finally found where I'm parked. I'm at my building. I couldn't get in. I got to set my stuff up. I got to figure out where I am. And then you look at your email and there's some email and you just click on it, right? Because you're already behind. And now it's a phishing email,
right.
right? You've either won from your company and now you got to deal with all that remediation, or it's actually a legitimate phishing email that if you were calm and had planned correctly, you would have saw and been like, nah, this doesn't make sense. But you're such in a rush, you've now clicked on something, and now
Oh, this looks
the IT
important.
people, yeah,
Yeah,
and now people are coming to you and be like, what did you do? How did it happen? We just got it from you. You clicked on something, and you, nah, it's not good.
yeah,
Relax.
yeah.
Hey, let's bring
Take
it
it
back,
easy.
people. It
Yeah,
all
take it
is a
easy.
domino, right? Everything
Yeah.
falls for if we do one thing right, the next step will be right, right? So take
Yeah.
your time, plan things out,
Yeah,
right?
and the last 2 years, we've retrained ourselves to do things. Walk around the house looking heads down on your phone, walking around your house as you're getting a cup of coffee. I do it. I do it.
Right.
So to your point, you got to put that phone in your pocket, head on a swivel,
Focus.
just like you are out in the normal world
Right.
before the pandemic. So let's talk about hybrid, right?
Well,
So
tell me about it.
it's not just you going back in every day of the
Mhm.
week. A lot of
Right.
organizations are like, look, people are happy, working from home. The consensus is that people don't want to come into the office every day. Some people want to
Right.
come in sometimes. Some people just want to just come in a day or two. Some people don't want to come in at all, but maybe they don't understand the benefits of it. You know, scheduling, getting that in, getting up earlier, right? Full transparency, I have no commute now, so I wake up, eat breakfast, shower, take care of my dogs, and I'm down here at my desk, right? 35 minutes.
Right.
That doesn't happen when you're going into the office.
No.
It's an hour and a half, right? You got to get up earlier, pack up, get your lunch together if you're packing your own lunch or things that. Um, it's you had a good point. What days are you going in, right?
Right. So make sure that you if it's a hybrid schedule, don't waste a good day to come in. So figure out when most of your team's going to come in, right? When your
Right,
boss is going to be in, right?
right,
So that people see you, right? So that you can take advantage of either speaking with them and getting some of that cooler talk knowledge that you get, that hallway talk. But if nobody comes in on Monday and you're the only one that comes in on Monday, then it's really not beneficial for you, right?
right,
And then what happens is when everybody else is in on Wednesday, uh, you're you're missing out on good gems and information because what you find out is, hey, well, we talked about this Wednesday when we're in the after that meeting, but you
right,
wasn't here, and this what we and
right,
you're like, well, I didn't know about. Yeah, it was when we're walking to back to our desk. We
right,
had that conversation, right? So
right.
figure out when everybody's going to come in and kind of coordinate around that, right?
Yeah,
And then when you do come in, don't just go to your desk and isolate yourself. Get up and reacclimate yourself to people, right?
yeah,
Get back to networking, right?
yeah,
And again, you don't have to do a lot. It can just be like, hey, how are you doing? It's good to see you, right?
yeah. Yeah,
Now
just
I'm
thought I'd
here.
stop
Is
in and
family
say
good?
hello, man. Yeah,
Hey, just wanted to say hello. I'm over here
yeah,
if you need me. Oh,
yeah.
okay,
No,
cool. That's it.
yeah. An
That's it.
organization doesn't run on one human being. It takes a team of people to run a full organization, not a small
Right.
business. Small businesses are different. That's why they're
Not a
small.
startup.
But
Right.
yeah, not a startup, but in
Right.
regular normal organizations,
Hmm.
there's IT people, there's legal, there's communications and marketing, there's human resources, there's get up, talk to these people. If you're in IT, if you're in security, you need these relationships around other people, not just for them to come to you with
Right.
important stuff. I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations with people. I'm like, thank you for coming to me. Like
Right.
that was information I'm glad I know now.
Right.
Let me help you through. Let me
Yep.
get you to the next step. But I appreciate you coming to me with that information. And is it frustrating when people interrupt you? Sure.
Right.
Absolutely. Especially if you're a zone, you got stuff you got to get done. Because you've got deadlines and things like that. But it is so important to reestablish, like you were saying, reestablish those connections with people, that
Hmm.
rapport with people. It's so, and then definitely stop by your boss's office, right?
Right. Yeah.
If they're in, show your face, right? Hey, I'm here.
Hey,
I showed up.
don't waste that ever, right? Because what you
Yeah,
don't want is them to say, "Hey, we're on a hybrid schedule, and Mike, I haven't seen you this week. We need to make sure
right.
you come in." And you're like, "What? I was here Monday and Tuesday,"
Yeah,
and he was like, "I didn't see you. Well, you need to stop by." But
right,
avoid that conversation completely by on Monday going in and walking by and says, "Hey, what's going on? How are you doing?
right.
Good to see you."
Good to see you.
Oh,
Good to be
you have a
seen.
good weekend, right? It's good to be seen, right? Hey,
Yeah,
I'm over here if you need me, right?
yeah,
And now you don't have that conversation on Friday where like I haven't seen you all week,
right.
right? And now it's well, I saw him on Monday and Tuesday. He
Yeah.
stopped by. Okay, cool,
Well, you can look
cool.
at my badge record. So, like, I'm not here to look
Who
at
wants
your
to do
badge
that?
records.
Right.
No one
No,
wants to.
no
Yeah,
manager
don't
wants to
avoid
do
that
that.
conversation. Avoid
Just
that
avoid the
conversation.
conversation, right?
Yeah.
And how hard is that? So now in their mind as a manager, they know that you were here.
Right.
They know
Right.
that you came in. Versus now they're like, well, I haven't seen them, right?
Well,
Like, you were
and
here.
at the end of the day, if you're avoiding your boss, or if you're just avoiding coworkers, it's time for you to find a new job.
This
I'm
might not
just
be the one
saying,
for you.
shocker.
Right.
If you wake up every morning with that sense of dread in your chest, it's time for you to move on.
Right.
It
Right.
is.
And my
You're going to
thing
be
is, I
much
think
happier.
I think it will help you out. So let's go to takeaways. Let's
All
do
right, let's do
takeaways. All right.
takeaways.
Let's go
All right.
takeaways. Right. So
You know what? Number one, I like yours. Never waste a good visit.
no, don't
Hands
waste a
down.
good
What we
visit.
just got done talking about, you know, make the best of the situation,
Hmm.
re-meet and reestablish the people that you know,
Right.
meet new people. The great
Yes.
resignation wasn't just people leaving. Yeah, it sucks that Dave left or Kristen left or whatever else, but more people
People coming
came
in.
in.
Right.
Get to know those new people, right?
Correct.
Um,
Correct.
the plan
Hey,
ahead.
plan
That was a
ahead,
good one.
right? From a security standpoint, understand if your badge works, understand your equipment and what you
Yeah.
need, understand where you're going, understand where you're going to park, understand the distance it's going to take you to get there. Like plan ahead, right?
Yeah.
Make smart decisions, and also understand that commute, right? Because you're right, that commute has completely changed, and I think it's actually gotten worse than it has gotten better
I do
because
too.
everybody hasn't been driving and they're leaving later. So what you're
Yeah.
finding a lot more congestion. So before the pandemic, it might have took you 45 minutes. After the pandemic, it's taking an hour and 15 minutes
Right.
because everybody is pushing it, right? So,
Yeah.
hey, I woke up later because I'm not used to getting up so early, right? I
Right.
still wanted to do all the things I did before, like feed the dog, drink my coffee, look at the news real quick, and then you jump in the car thinking that you can make it in a certain time frame, and you're late, right?
Right.
Now everybody else is doing that, and it pushes you all back, right? Now
Yeah.
you're frustrated because guess
Yeah.
what? People can't drive in the morning, right? You
Yeah.
forgot that people couldn't drive in the morning, but now it's even worse, right?
Right.
Because nobody's had to do this, and their skills are terrible, right? So again, plan ahead, right?
Yeah.
And then the last one, be safe, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think because people are taking advantage of this time, um, both with the congestion of people and just people not being used to being street savvy.
Mhm.
You're right. I think, oh, look, there goes somebody with a big box of equipment. Time to take advantage of them.
Right,
As you know, if you're working out in the county and things like that, maybe that's not as a big a deal. Don't let your guard down just because you're working out in the county.
right.
But for those of us who work in the city or big cities or things like that, head on a swivel. Remember what
Always.
life was like when 5 years ago, 3 years ago, when you were going in the office. You were hyper vigilant about anybody.
Hmm.
I've never seen that guy before. He's coming right at me. Must be an
Right,
intruder.
right.
Bear spray. I'm not saying bear spray everybody that comes at you, but just be prepared to
Uh, uh,
hey, if you
yeah.
see people make eye contact and hey, how's it going? Just nod or whatever else. People are like, they've seen me. They know that I'm coming. I'm going to pick a lesser target, right?
Right. Hey, don't
Or they were
here's
targeting
a
you.
here's a trick, right? Here's something that most people know. Don't engage with crazy. Period.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah, yeah,
engage with kids. So if somebody is talking to themselves, right? And I've seen this before, you don't look their way. You kind of understand they're over there, but you keep moving,
yeah,
right? But the time you then look their way or you say something, right?
yeah.
Now you've engaged with crazy and now you're in the matrix, right? No, no, keep
I,
moving, right?
I was in Boston once trying to find a hotel room and I'm dragging my luggage behind me. It's pouring down rain. And the rule that I grew up with was if you make eye contact with somebody,
You speak.
smile. If they
Always
smile
smile.
back, say hello and just
Ah,
keep moving. So I made eye contact with this old lady. And keep in mind, I'm drenched. I'm in a suit and a tie. I'm carrying a,
yeah.
a suitcase behind me. I've got a 50-pound backpack full with enough equipment to rebuild civilization. And I see this woman and I'm like, hello. And we're in the train station. We're in the middle of the group. She screams, grabs her bag closer and says, don't you say hello to me? You might be the Boston bag snatcher. And I was like, what just like I'm more afraid of
Oh,
you attacking me at this point. Like, yeah, you're
the
right.
Boston bag snatcher.
The Boston. Man, I got to like for those of you who watch this video, you know this story. I had long story. Let's not digress. Um,
Right, right.
all right.
So my
So
thing is,
any,
I say don't engage with crazy because like
yeah,
I was at a Wendy's with a coworker eating, right,
yeah,
and this guy came in just yelling, right, and I'm eating my food and he's just yelling all kind of stuff, and I looked up and at that time he looked at me and I was like, oh, so my coworker is eating just down like
yeah,
ignoring it, right,
yeah.
and I looked up just this 1 second just to, and yo, what's up, big man? How you doing? Right? And I was just like,
Connected.
oh, I said, oh. Oh God. And he just kept going. And I
Right.
hadn't said a word. I know you
For
hear me
those of
talking
you
to
who
you,
don't know,
man.
Jolo is 6'5", built like a linebacker.
I, I'm not 6'5". I wish I was.
All
I'm
right.
six
He's
three.
6'4" and a half. Whatever. He's taller than
Hey,
I am, and I'm 6'2" and a half.
hey, it just kept going. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, and all my coworkers say, well, she know better than to engage with crazy. And I was like, you're right. I deserve it.
Yeah.
You're right.
You're right.
So I say all that to say, don't engage with crazy, right?
Don't
Keep
engage. Yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
Be
Stay out.
vigilant what you're doing. Speak and keep moving, right?
Yeah.
So I always say don't be rude, right? So when
Right.
people, hey, real quick, hey, nice to see you, good morning, and keep moving, right? Hey, can I ask you something? No, gotta go, right? Keep moving, right? Hey, and then don't let nobody walk up on you, right? People
Yeah.
walk up, you got your hands full with stuff because you're going back to the office, your box, whatever. Just nope, nope, I'm good. Please don't walk up on me. Back up,
Yeah.
keep going,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Your safety is the most important thing, right? And then depending on if it's bad, when you get into the office, let your security people know, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
Immediately.
yeah, some people walked up on me. It's not safe for other people as we're coming back in the office with our hands full. So could you have somebody stand outside and watch that?
Yeah.
In Uptown, we see that a lot, right? You see
Yeah.
that a lot. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people who are in desperate need of things, and
Yeah.
you don't want to get caught. So
Times is tough. Pawn shops are booming. Times are
they
tough.
and they
Yeah.
they are right. So that's it for me.
All
I
right.
think
Yeah,
we're
no,
good.
that's pretty good. I mean, at the end of the day, we love you all. We care about you all. Be safe.
Yes, be
There's,
safe.
it's not just worried about people rolling up on you. I mean, we all don't live in Gotham City, but you know, be safe driving. People aren't used to
Hmm.
driving.
Right,
Man, like the highways were just Atlanta's just insane, anyways. But and I
right,
don't live in Atlanta, but so it's even worse for me because I'm an out of towner. But man,
right.
I was like, is there a speed limit on this street? And my boss, he was
No.
like, I've seen people do 100 miles an hour. I've never seen a cop pull anybody over in the 2 years I've
Yeah,
been driving here. And I'm like, man,
they
um,
got bigger issues, right?
they got bigger
Like,
issues.
hey,
They don't want to pull it. Hey, that guy might have COVID. I'm not pulling him over.
right.
Um,
I don't want that. Right.
I don't want that. So, anyways, so yeah, it's just be safe out there as we go back to
Yep.
work this summer. It's hot. People get agitated when it's hot. You see it every
Hmm.
year statistically.
Hmm.
As the temperature rises, more crimes get committed, more violent
Yes.
crimes. So just be aware, be safe, be cautious,
Yes.
take it easy, take a deep breath. You'll get there. Leave a little earlier. You'll get there.
Yes.
You know. So
Hey, it's nothing wrong with getting there early, right?
right.
You'll actually find getting there early. You're able to be more relaxed. You're able to
Yeah.
do more things. So try to get there early. 15
Yeah.
minutes early has never hurt anybody.
And to your favorite line, go ahead and say it.
Hey, knowing is half the battle, and once you
Getting
know,
getting in, knowing the commute, knowing where
right,
the layout is, getting your equipment all set up and knowing what that situation is.
right,
I think that's more than half the battle in this case. It's
right.
it's it's most of it. It's just being
It's
prepared.
most of the battle right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and just understand, adjust your attitude.
Right.
Right. You got to go
Yeah.
in. There's nothing you can do about it. Make the
Take it
best out of the
easy.
situation. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
All right, everybody. Well, listen, if you like the content, you like the banter between Joel and I, this is actually especially banterish. There was a
it
lot
was
of,
Pinterest.
I
I
almost, I
like that.
almost took us down a path and talked about my Boston story,
Come
and I'm
back.
glad I didn't.
Come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Oh no.
So, but if you like the content, please hit like, hit the subscribe button. We love doing this.
Yeah.
This is free. We don't make any money doing it. But we like talking
No.
about being safe and,
Yes.
and helping everybody else out and
Yeah.
just making everybody aware, right? Sometimes
Hmm.
we take for granted that people know these things. You're like, just go ahead and get it out there.
Right.
So anyways, but please hit subscribe. If you have any questions, you have any comments, you have anything you'd like us to talk about,
We're on
don't
the Apple
hesitate.
podcast,
Yeah,
so you can subscribe there
absolutely.
as
I keep
well.
forgetting to plug it. Yeah, we have an
Yeah.
Apple podcast as well, because why not?
Why
Two
not?
old middle-aged guys, man, might as well get a podcast.
Let's
So we
go.
are an Apple podcast. You see the little icon with the wolf and the lion and the lock in the center. That's Joel and I.
Yeah.
There. What'll really screw up is I can move that icon around. It just
I
as soon as
can't
your
hear
head you
you.
try to point for it, just move it around. But yeah, if you like what you hear and you want to see a moving icon now. But yeah, just let us know, hit the subscribe button, put comments in, and we'll go
Yep,
from
yep.
there. All right. Any closing thoughts?
Nope. I have a good one.
All right, take care, everyone.
Yep, yep.